All righty, Eric. How's it going this morning?
I'm doing, are you kidding me? Delightful, Darlene.
I'm so happy to hear that. It sounds like you're in amazing spirits on a Monday morning here, so I'm excited for this interview.
That's right. It is Monday. So, when anybody has this type of energy, you have to appreciate it there, especially left over from
Absolutely.
the weekend. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Well, Eric, I'm excited to speak to you because you have a great resume and a professional career. So let's jump right into this interview. If you don't mind, Eric, let's start off by just simply telling me a little bit about your professional career and we'll just go from there.
Ooh, see if I can cut it down to just a few minutes for me. Listen, I looked under Canthal. I kind of dug a little bit deep into them. Actually, the first couple of companies that I worked for and the metal companies were actually ideal because it's something along the lines as far as what they do. A lot of it in the steel industry. So, but I was a production control manager, so I was responsible for a lot of the material, a lot of the operators being set up on the production lines, ensuring that we have proper material, coordinating whatever issues I may have, and working with sales department. A little bit on the engineering department, not so much at that time. More towards structure toward the sales department, supporting the roles there. Uh, but like I said, what Canthal was doing was along the same lines as far as the alloys that they were using versus what we were using as far as the steel and coating it and so forth. So I can appreciate that. And then I
Absolutely.
kind of segue because that wasn't my thing. I really wanted to get more in the sales side of the house. So that's when I kind of took up the electronic side of the house. Now, mind you, at the time, I didn't have the experience. That was the biggest problem. And the problem is when someone doesn't have the experience is getting a company that's willing to take a shot at you. And I remember talking to the VP of sales at that time with that company. It didn't seem like things were going to go well. I didn't think I was going to get the position. I'll be perfectly candid with you. But I went in there and I said I really wanted it. I dug deep into this company. I learned about their products and so forth and how they're being used. And I said, do me if I said Jeff. I said that's his name, Jeff at the time. I said, how about give me 2 weeks? I'll work for free. You don't like me?
Um,
Kick me to the street. I said, because don't forget, as much as you're kind of I'm interviewing with you. The company's interviewing with me as well to see if it's a good fit. Might not be a good fit. I don't know, and maybe I'll leave. And I remember he called me up the next day. He goes, "That's pretty much what got me the position." But he goes, "Eric, I got to pay you though. It's against the law. I cannot not pay you." So I really I appreciated that. And it was great. That was the start of my electronics career, and it's something I thoroughly embraced and I love because it was working with purchasing people as far as closing the sale and working with engineers and trying to get our products designed into their applications. So you're talking about having to take a lot on as far as what EMI, RF, and power components did at the time. But I did. And not only that, when you talk about on the sales side of the house, I understand at that time I was being in sales. And I said, you have to really kind of be a chameleon. You have to work with purchasing and getting the orders. But you also have to work with engineering. So you're talking about two different personalities there and trying to get our products designed into their applications. And I did very well. My little territory at that time was Southern California, Texas, and the Northeast. And I took that
oh,
little territory from like 5 to 8,000 a month, which we were only doing. We were a small company, probably doing maybe $250,000 a year. I took it to $2.5, $3 million a month on my territories. And I took a great pride in that one. And actually, over the years, I moved up from territory manager to the district manager to national sales manager. So ultimately, yes, I was responsible for hiring and firing, which I don't like. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like hiring and firing anybody. It's hard. But I understand that person in that position, you do have some say as far as who you bring into the department. And bringing on distribution channels as far as manufacturers reps, as far as uh, factory direct people, which we went to. Because that was one thing I really wanted to take away from. And I think I mentioned to you previously. I wanted to get away from a lot of the manufacturers reps, which they have so many lines, you only get so much attention with, to hiring factory direct people, especially for specific territories, which were really we thought beneficial, where we can grow the company, and that really panned out extremely well. I only left because I needed to change, and I still stayed in electronics though, and I went over to contract manufacturing. And I did that for about 12 years. My primary goal there was to bring on new clients, but in specific areas, defense and medical, because a lot of the companies, electronics companies, they kind of shy away from those two particular sectors because of the fact that they feel there's no volume there, which is true. There isn't much volume there, but the volume is really in the dollars. The dollars are higher, the volume is low. So your profit margins really excel in those particular two industries. And that was my goal as far as bringing on some of those particular accounts, which I did extremely well on, and bringing in Boeing and Raytheon and BAE Systems, some government contracts, but a lot of times, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, those areas you want to kind of stay away because it takes a lot out of you in reading through the contracts and trying to bring them on board. But that was pretty much in a nutshell for those two particular
Yeah.
companies.
That's amazing. And you gave me a great introduction as far as where those two companies, what you did in those two roles as well, and how much you were able to grow the territory or your territory. Is that something that stood out to me was the growth with that? So I want to ask you a follow-up question, right? Because with that, it means you have to maintain your clientele. So how are you able to typically were you able to hear me okay?
I missed the end part of it. You got kind of cut off.
Oh,
How were you able to?
I apologize for that. How were you able to, with the growth that you had in your territories, how were you able to maintain your client relationships?
Well, you're right. As far as relationships, they're key. People do business with people, in my opinion, that they like. When you first call upon a client, there, the first person they see is you.
Mm.
They look at you. If they don't care for you, you're done. I don't care what you're selling or what company you're with. That's pushed aside. But if I like you, all right, you got past the hardest part. Then it's like, okay, what are you selling me and who's your company? Because most companies are always going to look as far as the quality of a product, a lead time, service, and pricing. Typically, you can pick two of the three. You're not going to get all three from a company, honestly. Otherwise, you one again. I'm only talking from a sales side of the house. You don't need salespeople. You just need order takers, and that order takers can take orders all day long. If you got the best pricing, the best quality, and a fantastic lead time and service, you're going to excel and dominate the market. And I got cut off again.
Oh no, can you
Is
hear
that on
me?
me or is that on you?
I'm not sure.
Oh, it
I'm
might be
not
his.
sure.
It might be his Wi-Fi. I don't know, but I hope that's not the case. My apologies if it is.
No,
But
no.
did you get the end part of that, or maybe you did not?
I did get that.
Okay,
Um, yeah,
but
so
but as far as again, they look at that. But even then, you do have to take care of your customers. Problems problems do arise. I mean, every company kind of falls down, and it's to me, it's never how you fall down. It's how you get back up. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I had issues with some customers, absolutely, and it's how you handle the problem. Customers don't want you running away. You take the problem head on, and that's what I did. I didn't run away from it. I said, listen, if it falls on us, it falls on us as a company. Let's see if we can fix it and ensure it doesn't happen again. But then customers will typically will stay with you. That's my opinion.
absolutely. I agree with you. And to kind of add on to that, your client, if they trust you, they're going to want to work with you as well. So that's something that I was able to gain out of experience. So we know that you're applying to this account manager role.
Right.
What is it about this role that truly interests you?
Oh, this role? One, it looks like, in my opinion, as I mentioned to you previously, it looks like it does a lot of things. I don't want to say a jack of all trades, but that's what I do like. I do like challenges. I don't run away from them. I'm not going to lie to you. It's an area that I'm going to have to familiarize myself as far as on the commodity and on the specs and the applications of these type of products and how they're used. Because something I don't like. I don't like sounding like an idiot when I'm trying to help a customer or an engineer. I like to have the answers. And if I don't have the answers, which sometimes would happen when I was with ACT or NPI, I would find out the answer from the engineers and so forth, or from the manufacturing people. But I'm going to get to know that answer. And if the answer
Great.
question comes up again, I'm going to have the answer. Because
Amazing.
I even realize I'm not going to have the answers to everything. I am willing to learn because, like I said, I went through a lot of their website, very informative. The site is well done because I can pick apart a lot of websites. Their site is very thorough. I like it. They
That's
give you the
amazing.
whole they give you the whole history, where they're from, their products, how they're used, videos. Whoever
Yep.
did their site, kudos to them. They did a great job.
Yes, their site truly is amazing and informative.
Yes.
So completely agree with that. My last question for you, Eric, is when were you looking to start a new position? How soon?
About 6 years from now. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I could start within probably a week or so. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that sounds perfect, Eric. I want to thank you for your time this morning. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this interview, but don't hang up on me quite yet. I want to
Okay.
continue chatting with you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Oh, look forward to it.
Thank you.